they had who is the most influential basketball player in the last 30 years. And you sent me some weirdo who apparently used to work for Slam. What company was it? People were trashing him after that. And the first thing I told you was he puts Jordan, Kobe, Kurt, and doesn't have LeBron up there, right?
He doesn't. He said was it B Crawford? That's his name. I think B Crawford on Twitter.
At B Crawford.
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah.
Once again, he's not the real B Dot.
And what pissed everyone off was he started naming it why these dudes were influential. He said Mike because Mike is basketball. He's he's mostly a lot of people's goats. He's my goat. If you do have a greatest of all time, he's my pick. Then he had Kobe. Motherfucker said Kobe because of the low top sneakers. I mean, he's probably right, but that's not, bro. Listen, that's not like that's something you hold up and like, oh, this is why. Like, this is why he's influential. This is why he's on this list. Nah, hell no. There's more things Kobe did that you could have put in that spot. That shit right there blew my mind, blew everyone's mind. And then he did have Iverson. Obviously, Iverson changed the culture, man. He brought hip hop to the game. He normalized it. Cornrows, the attitude, the swag, all that shit. Motherfuckers wasn't doing that. It was wearing suits still. It was still coming off the Jordan era, the old school era, the 90s. Cats was wearing suits and ties. Iverson changed that, man. His whole style of play, he changed that. And then he also had, I believe he had Steph Curry. The way the game is played now, we just talked about it with big men. Big men are shooting threes. That's a part of your game now. Curry, he stretched the game out. He changed the game how it was being played. You got teams playing. Some teams don't even have a real center. They play small. They got a small lineup just because, you want to shoot the three ball. You want to stretch the floor. I get it. But how you leave LeBron out of that is blowing minds, bro.
So the way I think, first of all, your man, he
ain't
deserves.
My man. Don't say that shit. It ain't my man. I don't know.
You know what? You're right, because he's the fake B Dot. He's another fake B Dot. There's a bunch of clones, but there's only one. There's only one very own, the real B Dot, right there with Yankee hat, Brooklyn Nets fan, Yankee fan. So the way I think of this, first of all, he did a disservice to Kobe Bryant by bringing up low tops. Because nobody thinks about low tops when we think about Kobe Bryant's impact, especially now, his impact on the game.
Yeah.
The first thing, someone just tweeted out, what's the kid's name? There's two white boys on Miami that's all right. One of them, Hero, is really good, right? But the other one's a three-point shooter. Not that you see. Yeah. His name will come to me.
Yeah.
He said, yo, Kobe made it cool for you to be infatuated with basketball. Like, basically be a basketball nerd. And it's true.
I mean, to him, yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Okay, even if you disagree with that, even if whatever, right? That is way more impressive. That's way more impressive of a point to bring up about how Kobe Bryant's influence.
Talk about Duncan Robinson.
Yes, Duncan Robinson. Mm-hmm. That's way more valid than saying that Kobe's impact on the game are a pair of sneakers. That dude should be suspended from NBA Twitter for a week, go rely on his burner accounts, whatever. The way I thought of this thing was, what happens if you eliminate these players' games, you delete them for a year's time, and you're not allowed to see a Michael Jordan highlight, you're not allowed to see a Steph Curry highlight, a LeBron highlight, Kobe Bryant highlight, and even the man who I think is number 2 most influential is Allen Iverson. Mm-hmm. If you delete their footage from the NBA and there's a before and an after, and you're watching 30 years worth of tape, you go, okay, Jordan came in, the pants got baggier, the game changed in terms of you can't even call. They started calling, being more relaxed with the superstars. The superstar called even more so than the 80s, because that was there with Kareem, all type of stuff. Uh, what else can you say about Jordan? Like to say that he is basketball.
He listen. He came. Listen, Magic and Bird saved the league in the '80s. Mike was just like he was like the god. Like he just took it to another level, man. Like he came at the right time because media started changing, the internet started rolling into play. The NBA became much more marketable due to Mike. Like, you know what I'm saying? You had people that will casually watch the game, were in tune to the games because Michael Jordan was playing. Even from the '88 dunk contest, from that point on, like it was just him and winning the MVP that year, the sneakers. Mike changed the culture, bro. Like if you delete Jordan alone, the game looks pretty different. Because look, he influenced LeBron wears 23 because of Mike. Kobe plays the way he played because of Mike.
He wears 24. He wore 24 because
Kobe wore 24. LeBron wears 23. The game looks different without Mike. So so that assessment of him saying he is basketball these 30 years. Because the game is a different game without Michael Jordan not again coming out of UNC.
So, but I'm not saying to delete him from the game. I'm saying you delete the footage and you see like, yo, something happened here after 1988, 83. Like what happened here that the league looks like this now, from the 80s to the 90s? Like to me, there's no Harold Miner. Kobe Bryant doesn't play like that.
No,
Even LeBron is sort of like different, even though he doesn't play like Mike. Allen Iverson doesn't play like that. Marbury, Baron Davis, all these point guards that now want to play like two guards, it's all because of Michael Jordan. Yeah. He made every guard want to be a scorer as opposed to being a point guard. Yeah. And he started to introduce the reason why the NBA was implementing the zone defense, why Isaiah and Detroit were bitching like, yo, you're giving them all the calls, right? So that being, we know that already. He changed the game with the scoring. Now, with Kobe, what people are not talking about is the fact that the game got way younger because of him. As soon as he comes in, it's not just KG. It took Kobe a while, 3-4 years, but it was like, whoa, we cannot miss this ever again.
I would say just 2 years, really, because him making that All-Star game as a bench player against Mike at the Garden.
Everyone was eating crow at that point, right? We can't miss this ever again. He's the reason why Tyson Chandler and Eddie Curry and Kwame Brown are top 3 draft picks.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like Kevin Garnett was drafted before him. I think Sean Kemp, I don't know what he did. I know he came out of high school or something like that. Maybe Moses Malone as well. Malone. Kobe he ushered in the reason why. Kobe even said, I got to the league, it was grown men. But after him, he didn't say this part, but after him, they couldn't miss anymore. Then they had to do the one and done rule after LeBron came in. Because he really cemented that. Does LeBron go number 1 if Kobe doesn't exist?
I don't know.
He might.
We don't know, but it's a good chance.
He might, because like you said, the internet came in, whatever. But, all right, so that's impactful. That's highly impactful. Mm-hmm. Steph Curry, to me, is bust so many years. It's only been 4 or 5 years that he's, let's say 7. It wasn't the entire Steph Curry run of his career that influenced basketball. It was the Golden State run, winning the championships, that colleges and the AAU teams, all these players, they want to play like Curry now. All right, he still needs time to show his influence. LeBron's influence, that one was hard for me to think about because that's if you take, like I said, the footage of LeBron out and you wonder what happened between the year 2010 and 2020, something took place for all these players to now decide that, hey, we can go wherever we want now. Kawhi does not go on 3 different teams.
No.
Durant does not go on 3 different teams.
No.
These are all LeBron copycat moves.
Yeah. The decision.
So, right. And he didn't play like Jordan per se. He's more, I guess, Magic, and he's stuck in that hybrid.
Yeah.
But that's why I came to the conclusion that if you take away the footage of Allen Iverson in the last 25 years, there's no way you can't say, hold on, how come every single player has tattoos now? How come every single player wants to score now? They all look if I would be, what nobody really wants to say is Allen Iverson. Can I say this? I made everyone really comfortable being like black, all the way black. Like, yo, I look like him. Either I look like him, my brother looks like him, my cousin looks like him. That's my uncle.
The hood.
Just comfortable being a black dude.
Listen,
I don't want to say hood. I think hood is
but we got to say hood, man. Listen. We know in the hood we were playing ball, bro. Iverson he represented us. He represented that hip hop culture, the street culture. In the game, it was the basketball for a certain amount of time was always street. We get that, you know what I'm saying? People associate the game with, you know, the inner city and all that. But Iverson made it popular. He made it pop. Like he made it acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a movement when he got on the scene and he started rocking the cornrows, the swag, everything, the locker room, do-rags on, like jerseys, like, you know what I'm saying? Cats weren't doing that. Kobe wasn't even doing that. None of these players were doing that. Vince, none of them. Iverson made that shit cool. And it
without winning a championship. Without winning a championship,
bro.
It was all swagger. It was, to be honest, a lot of his swagger, what Bill Simmons wrote in his book, when he said Iverson is one of the only dudes, maybe the only player I've ever seen to carry a team with just swag.
Yeah.
You understand? So he carried the league like that. And no, they didn't like it, but do the jerseys say Oakland on it? Do the Nets have a Brooklyn Coogee jersey now? If Iverson doesn't exist? To me, in my opinion, all of that is Iverson.
Yeah.
Like Jordan brought in the corporate side of the business side of a player, and he made it so that a player can now sit in that office. Like they all, Magic, Bird, they all had that respect, yes. But Iverson brought it in so that not only are you going to sit in the office, you can lay back in the chair if you want and speak however you want to speak. Yep. Because he sounded, this is how we really sound. It's like that. That's how we really sound. And everyone was scared to do it. But he was so unafraid, iconic, that there's no way anyone can convince me otherwise. That is Jordan and then Iverson. And Iverson is very close, in my opinion, to changing how the entire culture of basketball. And they show the love. The players do.
Yeah.
But the owners don't. ESPN don't. They won't. Because he didn't win. He's the anti-hero. He's the Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He is, yes. He's the Attitude Era. He is the Attitude Era in the NBA, bro. He's the Rock, Stone Cold, DX. He is that. And they hated it. But you had to love it because everyone else embraced it. The fans embraced it. It's just that the corporate side just chose to, try to play him, try to change the rules. They even tried to implement putting back on the suits, which they did. Couldn't wear jerseys no more. You couldn't wear jeans.
And what happened to those rules?
You got thrown out the window because it was just, it was.
Did they?
It was. They did, yeah.
They still, I think those rules still exist, and that shows that they were hating on AI.
But they can't. Look at Russell Westbrook. I mean, look at Dwayne Wade. Like you could dress.
So when did
dress? You can't. It's different now. The league is different.
It is. What I'm asking is, when did they get rid of it? Because they implemented the rules about 15 years ago. So when did they get rid of it? I don't remember them getting rid of it.
I don't know. But they tried to regulate it. You don't recall that? They tried to regulate what you wore. Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is the rules written in, but when was it written out? The same way they made a big deal of it. I don't remember. I just remember the players showing up with their new tight, colorful jeans and their new how they want to look. How Russell Westbrook is. Russell Westbrook is an AI fan. He's influenced by him. And newsflash, LeBron, Kobe to a certain extent. They're both Iverson and Kobe's idols are Jordan.
Yes.
Clearly.
Yes.
But guess who else is one of who else idolizes Iverson? Steph Curry.
Steph, yeah.
The whole dribbling, the way he dribbles, that street ball.
Yeah.
Before him was Isaiah. He kind of brought it in. But Iverson took it to another level.
Another level, bro. That
The fact,
crossover. I mean, we
so
had
your
the killer
man,
crossover with
I'm sorry, not your man, not your man.
who?
The fake B dot, another fake B dot, should be ashamed of himself. That he's a slam rider. That's why
X Slam Rider.
X slam rider. But that's the type of shit they used to write in the 90s in slam. It was just like, yo, this is corny. He's got low top. No, it ain't low top sneakers. That's not how Kobe influenced the game. He made it so that if you was 16, 17, I ain't going to no Army. I got a chance at making the league.
Yeah.
I don't have to. Yo, the crack era is over.
Yeah.
They don't talk about that either in the 60s and 70s. You know, all the real ball players, but they weren't in the NBA.
It's real, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. Jordan's 1, Iverson's 2, and 3 at this point. It got to be LeBron. I'm trying to figure out why. I really don't know. Besides the player movement shit, I mean, that's a lot of empowerment that LeBron made them feel.
That's off court. Well, some
that's
of that is off court too. But you got to give LeBron his props for that, man. You got to. He basically made it for these players the most marketable. The NBA, they do the best job at marketing their players. They're facing their players than any league that we know. Better than the NFL. Well, and it helps because they don't wear masks, they don't wear hats, their faces out there. So it's easier for them to market that.
Well, you think that they market that? I think that they've been, the NBA has been they've been abusing them. Like, not abusing them, they've been exploiting them. You can't because you can't, like you said, they don't wear a mask, they don't wear hats to cover their face. Right. So they've been making money like that.
But how else are you supposed to market your players? You got to use their face.
No, but what I'm saying,
you could recognize Michael Jordan's face without even like, oh, that's. But you know the picture of Michael Jordan and someone didn't even know they know that's Michael Jordan. It's just that you know that's who he is, man.
We agree, but what I'm saying, the NBA they didn't create this marketing. I mean, David Stern has a major. Nike, David Stern, Michael Jordan, yes. They all played a major hand in the modern day marketing of NBA stars. All right, cool. But that was happenstance because your players can't be MF Doom and rock a mask to go play. No. But you've been and LeBron helped them understand, yo, by the way, we're the ones that take all the risks. We're the ones on social media now, which is a whole different media than back in the day. I'm taking more risk of being out here. You don't know who the team owner is. You know who these general managers are. They always blame us for everything, just like an artist gets blamed or credited, like quarterbacks do as well, for having a great album or a great team.
Right.
They're the first person you think of. So LeBron is really the leverage that he weighed, that he cemented for the players. It affects the court because now the game is different. Right. Now you have to worry. Now the GMs have to worry about what's going on in the game. Are your players truly happy? You better make them happy.
Yeah. I mean,
you better make them happy.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be. These players are bringing in billions of dollars for these corporations, not just the team, the TV deal. That TV deal doesn't happen without these players, especially not LeBron in this era. You know what I'm saying? So you basically you building all these corporations getting those billions of dollars off the backs of these players.
Right.
I mean that's sports in general, especially off the black athletes. That's another conversation. But
yeah,
the NBA has done a phenomenal job of just making these guys turn into brands. But I think LeBron has that effect. I think that's his influence of really making. I mean, Jordan started that, but LeBron, what he's doing right now, like putting the power behind the player, like him just going anywhere he want. Like I'm a brand. I'm taking my brand to LA. I'm taking my brand to Miami. I'm doing that, and there's nothing you could do about it. I had that cachet. I can just go anywhere I want. KD, you said it best.
My own story.
Yeah, LeBron started that. You were absolutely right. Like that's his influence. And
I don't think he started it. I think he took it to another level.
Well, yeah.
So it impacted every sport.
He's the model now for that. Like what he's doing, his style of play. That's what you model it after now. There's no going back now. If you're a talented player and you have the power behind you, and you're great, you're marketable, you're gonna pull that power move, and there's nothing they can do about it. And that's the shit that's going crazy. Because now it's like, yo, I'm not the slaves have, starting to run the ship. The slaves ain't the slaves no more.
Right.
So,
even though I don't like that comparison, but
I'm just saying. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But and with Steph Curry, like I said, it's too soon. But the Trae Youngs of the world, all these guys, there's definitely the AAU. You hear it all the time from I guess from the Jalen Rose of the world or whatever ball players you hear about speak about it. Because I don't like watching AAU. I don't like watching all these high school games. I might, if it pops up on my timeline, I think that shit is predatory.
Listen,
it is.
You're going too far. You gotta be honest. The only time I really get into the high school ball, like I see that, like you said, on the timeline, I see highlights, you see kids doing flashy shit. Yeah, that's cool, but it doesn't I'm not gonna remember these kids' names until they probably go on draft night, go to the league. Other than that, I'm not checking for it like that. I'm not even really a big college basketball guy. Only time you see me watch college basketball is during March Madness. Other than that, I don't follow it like I used to. So, yeah.
But and LeBron might even start the new NBA family dynasty. How you say, like a family TV show with his son coming in if he comes to the league. Because LeVar Ball really, that's a different conversation now. What LeVar Ball did, it's not going to be seen for a couple years. Because if he had a LeBron as a kid trying to come out with his own sneakers and stuff, that's just a different thing that's not talked about.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Andre 3000-ish, where it's before his time. I think LeVar Ball and that Ball family was ahead of their time with that, and people weren't ready for it. Just like people weren't ready for LeBron and the decision. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. I couldn't believe that dude with his low top analogy. That was stupid.
Damn, you killed it, man. You killed it.